The ninth day of the sixth regular session of the 20th Congress will now come to order. May we all stand for a moment of silent prayer. Chief Clerk, roll call.
Senator Alick, Senator Aritos, Senator Figuer, Senator Coolant, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo, Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Usmal, Senator Wally, Speaker Simina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members are present.
We have a quorum this morning to transact business. Floor Leader Harper, reading of the journal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I make my usual motion, I just want to say at this time that I'm really happy that my brother here has finally agreed with me that the word that we really need to use is adjourn, not recess, at the end of our agenda for a day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now move that we dispense with the reading of the journal.
It's moved and seconded that we dispense with the reading of the journal. Those in favor say yes, opposed no. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journal. Next item, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, the next item is item 5, Presidential Communications on receipt of numbers 20-392 through 20-395.
Okay. We'll assign those, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 6, have some Supreme Court communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Next
Speaker,
item.
point of privilege.
Okay, Chairman Panuelo, state your point.
Speaker, good morning to you and good morning to members and those who are observing from the gallery. Speaker, please allow me to, on our behalf, introduce certain officials and citizens who are observing our session this morning from the gallery. I want to begin by introducing a good friend of ours, a good friend of mine, who's our associate judge or justice from the Pohnpei State Supreme Court. Let's kindly recognize and welcome the Honorable Nicontro Chani from Pohnpei State. I will continue by also recognizing our good mayor, who is also observing our session, Mayor of Tapanchak, Koshai. Let's give him a round of recognition. And two other citizens who are here that I recognize, Mr. Takesareem, former Chief of Police, National Police, he's observing our session, and Mr. Pen Enlet, I believe those two individuals are observing our session. Let's also recognize them this morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Chairman Panuelo. We're always honored by the presence of His Honor when he's observing our session, and of course my good mayor from Tavansac. I will never forget those good old days when we run around in Tavansac. And of course our citizens are always welcome. Mr. Enlet, I don't know what your plan is, but it seems like you're very interested in the proceedings of our Congress. Okay, any other point of privilege? If none, let's continue. Chief Clerk, next item.
Mr. Speaker, the next item is item 7, member communications. There are none.
Next item.
Item 8, departmental communications on receipt of number 20-90.
Signed that, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 9, agency or governmental authority communications. There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Continue.
Item 10, state communications, none. Item 11, state Supreme Court communications, none. Item 12, municipal or town communications, there are none. Item 13, foreign government communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Order of the day, standing committee reports. Chief Clerk.
Standing committee reports, there are none, Mr. Speaker.
Next item.
Item 15, special committee reports, also none.
Next item.
Item 16, assignment of measures and communications. We have a referral sheet number 20-101.
Okay. Chairman and members, take note, review that referral sheet for your planning purposes. Next item.
Item 17, unfinished business, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Item 18, bill calendar. First bill.
Speaker,
Um,
are we on bill calendar?
Yes, sir. We are.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you allow me, I'd like to withdraw
Proceed. Proceed.
a bill. And
Go ahead.
I just want to make things lively because it sounds like going through the order of business, sounds like we're partially, the government is partially closed down. Everything is, there's nothing from the members, the Supreme Court, and everybody else, no communication. So let me just try to
Okay, so
make things
make our
exciting.
proceedings lively.
Yeah, thank you, Mr.
Proceed.
Speaker. I move to place, to withdraw and place Congress Bill number 20-282 on the bill calendar for action.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that CP number 20-282 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action.
Speaker,
Yes, Floor Leader Harbert.
thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just to safeguard that we don't violate any of our rules, I hereby suspend any relevant rule that may impede our action on the said bill.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that any relevant rules that might impede our action on the motion be suspended at this point. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The relevant rules are suspended. So let's vote on the motion. Those in favor of the motion to withdraw from committee CB 20-282 and place it on the bill calendar for first reading action, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. CB number 20-282 is now withdrawn from committee and placed on the bill calendar for action. Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move that Congress pass Congress Bill number 20-282 on first reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 20-282. Discussion. Any discussion?
Chief
Short
Clerk.
recess, subject to call. of the
Speaker.
chair. Congress is back in session. Chief Clerk, can you just help out by reading the title of 282?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, CB number 20-282. It's a bill for an act to amend sections 1, 2, 6, 8, and 9 of Public Law number 20-131 in order to appropriate $1,707,641 of additional funds from the General Fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2019, to provide additional funding for the operations of the national government of the Federated States of Micronesia, various grants, subsidies and contributions, and capital and human resources development, including additional funding for the FSM Trust Fund and for other purposes.
Okay, there you have it. So discussion. Any discussion?
Question.
Questions we call for. If there's no objection, debate is closed. So let's vote by roll call of members on first reading. Chief Clerk.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figueroa, Senator Kuland, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Coleman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo, Senator Perman,
Amen.
Senator Romulo, Senator Ursmal, Senator Welly, Speaker Semina, Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted for.
For that reason, CB number 20-282 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on the bill calendar. If there's no objection because of time constraints, we will now move down to item 19. That's the resolution calendar. First resolution.
Speaker.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chairman Fakir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to withdraw and place the following resolution on the resolution calendar for action. First resolution, Congress Resolution Number 20-170, 20-171, 20-172, and 20-173. I move.
It's moved and seconded that the following resolutions be withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Resolution number 20-170, 20-171, 20-172, and 20-173. Those in favor of that motion, or let the record reflect that relevant rules are still suspended at this point. So,
Short recess, please.
short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session, so let's vote. Those in favor of those four resolutions to be withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Those resolutions, 20-170, 20-171, 20-172, 20-173, are withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Okay. First resolution, 20-170. Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have 20-170 for functional resolution number 20-170 for adoption. CR number 20-170 is a resolution to confirm the nomination of Mr. Kemsky A. Sigra to serve as a member of the Board of Trustees of the FSM Trust Fund of the Federated States of Micronesia.
Chairman Fakir.
Thank you, Speaker. I move that Congress pass Congress Resolution Number 20-170.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 20-170. Discussion. Yes, Floor Leader Harbert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just for my own information, where is this gentleman working? At the national government or one of the state government? Or
Chairman
Yeah,
Fakir,
Thank
can
you,
help
Mr.
out
Speaker.
our floor?
Yeah, I believe he works at the national government handling the compact division, finance. He works in finance.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Question.
Questions being called for? There's no objection. Debate is closed. So our vote will be by secret ballot, and 10 votes are required for adoption. Okay. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chief Clerk, announce the result.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted for, 2 excused.
For that reason, resolution number 20-170 is adopted by Congress. Mr. Kemsky A. Sikra is confirmed as a member of the Board of Trustees of the FSM Trust Fund. Let's give him a hand. Next resolution.
Mr. Speaker, we have functional resolution number 20-171 for adoption. CR number 20-171 is a resolution to confirm the nomination of Mr. Elon K. Joseph to serve as a member of the Board of Trustees of the FSM Trust Fund of the Federated States of Micronesia.
Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the adoption of this resolution.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 20-171. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there is no
Speaker.
objection. Yes, Chairman Ursmel.
I would pray and hope that all members will vote yes on this nomination as a budget officer under my administration. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Ursmel. I think you've just killed the resolution by mentioning. No, yes, I agree. Nobody can doubt the qualifications of Mr. Elon Joseph. We all know him professionally and personally sometimes. Okay? So any further discussion? If none, if there's no objection, debate is closed. So this is another confirmation, so it will require 10 votes and by secret ballot. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chief Clerk announced the result on the vote.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted in affirmative. Senator Alec and Aritos are excused.
Okay, for that reason, the resolution 20-171 is adopted by Congress. The nomination of Mr. Elon K. Joseph is confirmed by Congress. Let's give him a hand. Thank you. So next resolution.
Mr. Speaker, the next one is functional resolution number 20-172 for adoption. CR number 20-172 is a resolution to confirm the nomination of Mr. Florian J. Yetelman to serve as a member of the Board of Trustees of the FSM Trust Fund of the Federated States of Micronesia.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the adoption of the resolution.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 20-172. Discussion. Any discussion? If there's no objection, discussion is closed. So we will vote by secret ballot, and 10 votes are required for adoption. It's a confirmation. Short recess. Congress is back in session. Chief Clerk, announce the result.
Mr. Speaker, 11 members voted in favor, 1 against, 2 excused.
Okay, for that reason, CR number 20-172 is adopted by Congress. Mr. Florian J. Yadelman is confirmed as a member of the Board of Trustees of the FSM Trust Fund. Let's give him a hand. Okay, next resolution.
Mr. Speaker, we have functional resolution number 20-173 for adoption. CR number 20-173 is a resolution to confirm the nomination of Mr. Fabian S. Nimia to serve as a member of the Board of Trustees of the FSM Trust Fund of the Federated States of Micronesia.
Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the adoption of the resolution.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 20-173. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So we will vote by secret ballot, and minimum of 10 votes also required for adoption. That's a confirmation. Short recess. Congress is back in session. Chief Clerk, announce the result.
Mr. Speaker, we have 9 members voted for the nominee, 3 against, and 2 excused.
For that reason, resolution number 20-173 is not adopted by Congress. Mr. Nimea is not confirmed as a member of the Board of Trustees, the FSM Trust Fund. Next resolution.
Motion for reconsideration.
Mr.
Short
Speaker,
recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chief Clerk, Chairman Romulo, you have anything?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I make a motion, I would again make another appeal to all members, that for 12 members that are in the chamber this morning. You have spoken that during our recess that this is one of the most qualified individuals. So again, I ask that we consider this motion and to confirm this individual. Thank you.
Okay, make your motion.
And motion to reconsider the said resolution.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that Congress reconsider its action on resolution number 20-173. That's not subject to debate, but we will go to voting, same process. Okay, short recess. Congress is back in session. Chief Clerk, announce the result.
Mr. Speaker, for reconsideration, 11 members voted for, 1 against, and of course, 2 excused.
Ayun na, Ranjo
Okay, the
Grande.
reconsideration motion is adopted. We now have resolution 20-173 for action. Chairman Fakir, motion for adoption.
Move for the adoption of the resolution.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 20-173. That's Chief Clerk, title.
Yeah, the title of 20- or Congressional Resolution number 20-173 is to confirm the nomination of Mr. Fabian S. Nimia to serve as a member of the Board of Trustees of the FSM Trust Fund of the Federated States of Micronesia.
Okay, there you have it. Discussion. Any discussion? Questions being called for. If there's no objection, debate is closed. So same process. We'll go through secret ballots. 10 votes required. Okay, short recess. Congress is back in session. Chief Clerk, announce the result.
For confirmation, 10 voted for, 2 against, 2 excused.
For that reason, resolution number 20-173 is adopted by Congress. Mr. Fabian S. Nimea is confirmed as a member of the Board of Trustees of the FSM Trust Fund. Okay. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. If there's no objection, we'll go back to item 18, that's bill calendar. First bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, for second reading, we have CP number 20-277 for second reading. And this is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 20-141 as amended by Public Law number 20-145 by amending sections 4 and 5 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding priority infrastructure projects and other projects and programs in the states of Pohnpei and Chuuk and for other purposes.
Chairman Figure.
Move for the passage of the bill on second reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading, CP number 20-277. Discussion.
Speaker.
Go ahead, Chairman Kulat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I have a written amendment has been distributed and circulated among members. And Mr. Speaker, On the written amendment, I have minor amendment to the written amendment. On the,
First, make motion for adoption.
Mr. Speaker, I move that I motion that the written amendment should be
Adopted.
adopted.
Any
First.
second? It's moved and seconded that written offered floor amendments by Chairman Colan to CB 20-277 be adopted. Floor Leader Harbor.
Speaker, again, move to suspend any rule that may impede our action on the said amendment.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that any relevant rules, specifically the rules prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final reading, be suspended. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The relevant rules are now suspended. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Chief, Congress is back in session. Discussion on the offered, or Chief Clerk, you like to read it into the records? Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, we have a floor amendment to CB number 20-277 offered by Senator Victor Coland. Item 1 of his amendment on page 7, line 23, delete the figure 1,800,000 and insert the figure 1,600,000 in lieu thereof. Item 2, page 8, between lines 19 and 20, insert new line items to read as follows. Sub-item lowercase p, Chuk hosting Micronesian Island Forum / administrative cost 100,000. Sub-item q, lowercase q, Chuk State Public Service Commission 50,000. Lowercase sub-item r, Bueno Municipal Relocation Building 50,000.
Okay, there you have it. Why are you relocating
Speaker,
the municipal office?
that's the reason why I wanted to make a oral amendment to this.
Okay, go ahead. Offer.
Mr. Speaker, on letter R, after the word municipal, you insert the letter V after the letter L, between letter L and O,
Sure recess?
and letter O, change it to A.
Can we have a short
me-
recess?
short
please?
recess.
Short
Speaker.
recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session.
On letter R, after the word municipal, remove relocation and insert the word relocation. After the word building, put / administrative support costs. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
Moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments to the pending floor amendments to 20-277 be adopted. Discussion? Any discussion?
Speaker.
Floor Leader Harbor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now support the amendment at letter R, now that the word relocation is changed to renovation, because early this morning, Colin met me and asked if we could get that 50,000 for municipal office renovation. And this morning, I see a different word. That's why I asked whether our delegation met this morning or yesterday discussing the amendment by Colin. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Floor Leader Harper. You're correct. We were all led to believe that it's going to be renovation, not relocation. That's why the question was asked. Any further discussion on the offered oral amendments?
Point of clarification.
State your point.
Is it municipal office or when a municipal office or just municipal offices?
Well, I think the intention was municipal office, right?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. This just generalizing the office.
Okay. All right, any further discussion on the offered oral amendments?
Mr. Speaker,
Yes, Chairman Willie.
thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also have a floor amendment I wish to offer to the said bill.
So let's finish up this one first before we,
Okay.
okay? Any other?
And I
None?
also have after Willie.
And if none, okay, no further discussion on the offered oral amendments, let's vote. Those in favor of the offered oral amendments, say yes.
Okay,
Opposed, no. Motion carried. The pending for amendment to CP 20-277 as orally amended is still under discussion. Any further discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed, so let's vote. Those in favor of the offered for amendments to CB 20-277 offered by Chairman Cullen as orally amended, say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered amendments, floor amendments as already amended are adopted. We now have CT 1.
Short recess, please.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on discussion of the CB 20-277 CD1. Chairman Willie, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a floor amendment to CP number 20-277 to offer at this time.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Copies have been distributed and circulated to members this morning. This is the Kusai portion of the said bill, and it's quite lengthy, so I will not ask Chief Clerk to read, but rather move for its adoption.
second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that the offer for amendments by Chairman Willie be adopted, and because of its length, its reading will be dispensed with. The relevant rules are still suspended at this point. So let's discuss that. Any discussion on the offered floor amendments by Chairman Willie? Chairman Willie?
Yeah, I'm offering this amendment on behalf of Chairman Ali Kali.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Chairman Willie, still have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On my amendment that I offered earlier, I move to delete item number 5, 6, 7 on their entireties. So moved.
Okay. It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Willie, that is to delete items 5, 6, and 7 in the written amendments, be adopted. Discussion.
Speaker.
Chairman Romulo, we're still on his offered oral amendments.
Sorry, yes.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair.
Yes,
Congress is back in session. We're still on the offered oral amendments. There's no further discussion on that, so let's vote. Those in favor of the offered oral amendments to the offered floor amendments to CP 20-277 by Chairman Willie, say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. Any further discussion on the offered floor amendments as orally amended? Chairman Romulo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to make a motion for an oral amendment to the said amendment offered by Senator Willie. On page 4, on line 5 from the bottom on subsection 6, where it says subsection 5, open parenthesis, slash letter H, insert letter T, close parenthesis, in lieu thereof.
Okay, there is that offered
recess.
oral amendments by Chairman Willie.
Short
Discussion.
recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still discussing the offered oral amendments by Chairman Romulo. Any discussion on it? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed, so let's vote. Those in favor of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Romulo, say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We're still on discussion of the offered four amendments by Chairman Willie. Any further discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed, so let's vote. Those in favor of the offered four amendments to CB number 20-277 CD1, as offered by Chairman Willie and as orally amended twice, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We now have CD2. Senator Net,
Speaker,
you have the floor.
I move for adoption of my small amendment to the said bill.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt the offered floor amendments by Senator Net. It's been written up, duplicated to members, stated as of 18. Because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. So any discussion on the offered floor amendment by Senator Net? Questions being called for. If there is no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the floor amendments to CB 20-277 CT2 offered by Senator Net, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered floor amendments are adopted. We now have CD3. Any further discussion on
Mr. Speaker.
CD3? Yes, Vice Speaker Moses.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you, members, and those that are observing. I have an oral amendment I wish to make on the said bill.
Proceed.
Okay, on page 6, line 24, subsection F, delete the phrase non-Koporaman, U Main Road paving, and delete 60,000 and insert 110,000 in lieu thereof, and in the place of non-Koporaman U Main Road paving, insert solar street lights and installation. And on page 7, line 3, sub-item J, delete that in its entirety, including the figure. So then that on page 6, line item F, non-Koporaman U Main Road paving, 60,000 should read solar street lights and installation, 110,000. I so move for its adoption, Mr. Speaker.
It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Vice Speaker Moses be adopted. Just for the record, our relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. So there you have it, the offered oral amendments. Discussion. Any discussion?
Just a small question I wish to raise on the amendment raised by the good Vice Speaker.
Go ahead.
So if the street is going to be taken away, the solar lights will be lining up around what kind of, in the bush or?
Different streets, different roads.
The paving of the, I cannot say the name of the street or the place, and then replace them with solar lights. So my question is, the solar lights will be for what road?
Which roads you will light
Well,
up instead
the
of
solar
paving?
lights were put there in general. It did not say street lights because it was intended to go outside churches and recreational areas.
There you have it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Any further discussion?
Including the church in Colonia?
Yes, of course. Anywhere he wants in his election district. Yes. Okay. Questions been called for. If there is no objection, debate is closed. So let's vote on the offered oral amendments by Vice Speaker Moses. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments by Vice Speaker Moses are adopted. We now have CT4. Any further discussion of CT4? Chairman Panuelo, you have? If none, if there's discussion on the bill, 277. If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed. This is second reading, so we'll vote by delegations. Senator Coleman or Romulo, you'll cast a vote for Troop. Okay. Roll call.
State of Chuk, Chairman Romulo.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Panuelo.
Aye.
State of Kushai, Chairman Wali. State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal. Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states voted for.
For that reason, CB number 20-277 CD4 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Speaker,
Yes,
if I'm
Chairman
not out of
Panuelo.
order, can I make a motion to withdraw a bill?
proceed. First reading, right?
First reading,
Yeah,
thank you.
okay, let's do that before our members.
Yes, thank you, Speaker. I move to withdraw CP number 20-283 to be placed on the calendar, bill calendar for action. Thank you.
It's moved and seconded that CP number 20-283 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. The relevant rules are still suspended at this point. So let's vote. Those in favor of the motion say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. So CB number 20-283 is withdrawn from committee and placed on the bill calendar for action. Chairman Panuelo, make motion for passage. First reading.
Speaker, with the permission of Ways and Means Committee, I move that CB 20-283 be passed on the first reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CB 20-283. Read the title, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 20-283. It's a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 19-121 as amended by Public Laws numbers 19-130, 19-142, 19-145, 19-158, 20-9, 20-22, 20-51, 20-59, 20-70, and 20-123 by amending Section 4 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding public projects and social programs for the people of the state of Pohnpei and for other purposes.
Okay, there you have it. Discussion. Any discussion? Questions being called for. There's no objection. Debate is closed. So let's vote by roll call of members. First reading. Chief Clerk.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figuer, Senator Coolant, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Kunman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo,
Aye.
Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Ursmal, Senator Wali, yeah. Speaker Seminar. Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted for.
CB number 20-283 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Speaker,
Speaker, short recess. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Let the records reflect that the correct number of votes is 11. Chairman Fakir is now excused. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 20-280 for second reading.
Okay. Floor Leader Arbor, motion for passage on second reading.
Speaker, I move to pass Bill 280 on second and final reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CB number 20-280. Discussion. Any discussion on the bill? before I move on.
Yeah, thank you.
Short
Mr.
recess,
Speaker.
subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still in discussion of CP 20-280. Chairman Orismo, you have
Yeah,
the
thank
floor.
you very much, Mr. Speaker. Before I offer an amendment, I wish to discuss a portion of the bill relating to Section 4 YAP on line 11 to 13. I just wish for the record to reflect that the intent of this appropriation, first, is to use the money for referral of non-insured patients. Second, the money can also be used for citizens with outstanding medical bills, including repatriation for remains back to YAP. So with that background, I have this small amendment on page 1, line 13, delete the word citizen and insert in lieu thereof the word citizens. I so move.
It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Orismo be adopted. Let the record reflect that the relevant rules, specifically the rules prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final reading, are still suspended. So discussion on the offered small oral amendments.
If I may, Mr. Speaker, to further elaborate on the amendment and the intent of this section of the appropriation, the medical bills for deceased referral patients. For deceased.
Okay,
So move.
there you have it. Any further discussion? If none,
Speaker,
yes?
just a minor question. When the word citizen is pluralized, does that include all FSM citizens or only YAPI citizens?
It's a very legitimate question. We don't have citizens in YAP, we have residents. We have citizens of FSM.
No, we do have citizens in YAP, FSM citizens in YAP.
Yes.
And this language here is not talking about, there is nothing here that says YAPI citizen, it says citizens. And it means it can cover 1 to however many that the money can accommodate.
So if Floor Leader Harper travels to YAP, got sick and admitted, and he, incurs so much in billings that he couldn't afford, will this be able to, with your support, will this be allowed to be used for him?
This is mainly for patients who are referred of violence, whether they have insurance or not. If they have medical costs, if they passed away and have medical costs, this money will be used to pay for them.
Okay, okay. So that's clear to you now, Floor Leader?
Now I understand that the money is solely for YAPIs.
Yes, the section we're talking about here refers to YAP
Section, yes.
section, so I think no lawyer would argue that it's for all FSM citizens.
Well, you open it up with the words, with the word citizens. All right, so any further discussion on the offered oral amendments? If none, if there's no objection, debate is closed, so let's vote. Those in favor of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Orismo, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1? Any? If none, okay, let's vote by roll call of delegations. This is a second reading. Chief Clerk?
State of Chuk, Chairman Romulo.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Panuelo.
Aye.
State of Kushai, Chairman Wali. State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal. Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states voted in favor.
For that reason, CB number 20-280, CD1, has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 20-278 for second reading. CB number 20-278 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 20-125 as amended by Public Laws numbers 20-135 and 20-146 by amending sections 4 and 6 thereof for the purpose of changing the use and allotment of certain funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of the state of Pohnpei and for other purposes.
For Leader Harper.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Congress pass CP number 20-278 on second and final reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CB number 20-278. Discussion. Any discussion?
Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Willie?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a floor amendment to offer on behalf of Chairman Halikali on CP number 20-278.
Proceed.
Copies have been circulated and in today's package. And it's quite lengthy also, so I will not ask Chief Clerk or myself to read, but defer reading of it and hereby move for its adoption. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that the offer for amendments to CB 20-278 offered by Chairman Willie on behalf of Senator Halik be adopted. Let the records reflect that the relevant rules, specifically the one requiring prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final readings, are still suspended. So discussion. Any discussion? If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offer for amendments to CB number 20-278 say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered for amendments are adopted. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed on CD1. So let's vote by roll call of delegations.
State of Chuk, Chairman Romlo.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Panuelo.
Hey, Mai.
State of Koshai, Chairman Willie. State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal. Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states voted in favor.
Okay. CB number 20-278, CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 20-281 for second reading. CB number 20-281 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 19-124 as amended by Public Laws numbers 19-133, 19-140, 19-150, 20-05, 20-15, 20-33, 20-48, 20-763, and 20-71 by amending Section 6 thereof to change the allotment of certain funds previously appropriated therein to fund priority infrastructure projects and other programs in the state of Pohnpei and for other purposes.
Okay. For Leader Harbert.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Again, move for passage of CP number 2281 on second and final reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CB number 20-281. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed, so let's vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk?
State of Chuk, Chairman Romulo.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Panuelo. State of Koshai, Chairman Willie. State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal. Mr. Speaker, 4 states 4-4.
For that reason, CP number 20-281 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, we have 10 members. Any other bill you would like to pull that's urgent? If not, let's go down to the resolution calendar. First resolution,
Mr. Speaker, under resolution calendar, we have functional resolution number 166 for adoption. CR number 20-166 is a resolution congratulating the new governor of the territory of Guam, Lourdes Aflaqua Leon Guerrero, Lieutenant Governor Joshua Tenorio, and the senators of the Guam legislature on their victory in the recent elections.
okay, floor leader.
Move for adoption of the said resolution.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 20-166. Discussion. Chairman Ursmol.
I have a few amendments that I wish to offer on this resolution. If I request the Chief Clerk to read it.
Chief Clerk.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we have a floor amendment to functional resolution number 20-166 offered by Senator Joseph J. Ursmel. Item 1 of the amendment on page 1 in the title, line 3 of the title, delete the words victory in the, and then item 2, page 2, line 8, delete the phrase for their victory in the, and insert on there in lieu thereof.
Okay, there you have it. Did you make a motion for adoption already?
I so move, Mr. Speaker.
It's moved and seconded that the offered floor amendments to CR number 20-166 by Chairman Ursmel be adopted. Discussion? Any discussion? If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the offer for amendments to CR number 20-166 by Chairman Ursmel, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1? If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 20-166 CD1, say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution 20-166 CD1 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution.
Mr. Speaker, we have functional resolution number 20-167 for adoption. CR number 20-167 is a resolution congratulating the governor of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, Ralph Torres, Lieutenant Governor Arnold Palacios, and senators and representatives of the Northern Marianas Commonwealth Legislature on their victory in the recent elections.
Okay, floor leader, Arbor.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Move for adoption of said resolution to 20-167.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 20-167. Discussion. Chairman Ursmel.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. I have a small amendment that I wish to make on the resolution. I will read. Item 1, page 1, title, line 4, delete the phrase victory in the. Item 2, page 2, line 7, delete for their victory in the, and insert in lieu thereof on their. So move.
It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Ursmel to CR number 20-167 be adopted. Discussion.
Speaker,
Proceed.
Yeah, I just asked my brother here
Floor
to
Leader.
explain to me the real purpose of the amendment.
Explain, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Floor Leader. The purpose of the small amendments on this and the one that we already adopted, is to take out the reference to victory, as was discussed during session yesterday, and in lieu thereof, just say, in the recent elections. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Ursimal. Is that clear enough? Floor Leader, okay. Any further discussion on the offered oral amendments? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by, okay, let's vote. Those in favor of the offered oral amendments, say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments by Chairman Ursimal are adopted. Thank you for helping out our Chief Clerk, doing your own. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 20-167, CD1, say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution number 20-167, CD1 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution. Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next resolution is CR number 20-168. CR number 20-168 is a resolution congratulating the new governor of the state of Yap, Enriquez Fallon, Lieutenant Governor Jesse J. Salalu, and senators of the Yap legislature on their victory in the recent elections.
Okay. Chairman Ursimal. Chairman Ursimal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of the said resolutions.
It's moved and seconded by Chairman Ursimal that Congress adopt resolution number 20-168. Discussion. Make your motion, amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I again have a very small amendment that I wish to make on the resolution. May I ask the Assistant Chief Clerk to please read it?
Okay, you requested Assistant Chief Clerk to do the reading of that.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we have a floor amendment to CR number 20-168 offered by Senator Joseph J. Ursimal. Item 1, page 1, Title 3, Line 3, Title, Line 3, delete the words victory in the. Item 2, page 2, Line 4, delete the phrase for their victory in the and insert the following on their in lieu thereof.
Okay, there you have it. Motion for adoption.
So moved, Mr. Speaker.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt the offered floor amendment to CR 20-168 offered by Chairman Ursimal. Discussion on the offered amendments? If no discussion on the offered amendments, so let's vote. Those in favor of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Ursimal say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments to 20-168 are adopted. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1? Just a short question. So Mr. Salalu will still be eligible to hold that position we confirmed him to?
Short recess, Mr. Speaker.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Any further discussion on CD1? If none, let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 20-168, say CD1, say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution number 20-168, CD1 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
The next resolution is CR number 20-169. CR number 20-169 is a resolution congratulating the new governor of the state of Koshai, Carson Sikra, Lieutenant Governor Arti Nena, and senators of the Koshai legislature on their victory in the recent elections.
Okay. Floor Leader Harbert.
Thank you, Speaker. I move for adoption of CR number 20-169.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 20-169. Discussion. Chairman
Sure.
Rosamo.
Speaker, I also have an amendment that I wish to make on this resolution. If I may, I'd like to
Proceed.
read it. Proposed amendments offered by yours truly, item 1, page 1, in the title, line 3, delete the word victory, the phrase victory in the item 2, page 1, line 6, page 2, line 6, delete the phrase for their victory in the and insert in lieu thereof on their. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments to CR number 20-169 by Chairman Rosamo be adopted. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote on the amendment, offered oral amendments. Those in favor of it, say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments to CR number 20-169 are adopted. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 20-169 CD1, say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution number 20-169 CD1 is adopted by Congress.
Speaker.
Next resolution. Yes. Floor Leader
Speaker.
Harbert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If I may not be out of order, I would like to withdraw and place on resolution calendar the two resolution, number 20-174 and 20-175. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
And second, it's moved and seconded that resolutions number 20-174 and 20-175 be withdrawn and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Those in favor of the motion say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Those two resolutions, 20-174 and 20-175, are now withdrawn and placed on the resolution calendar for action.
Short recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Floor Leader, motion for, Chief Clerk, read the title of the first resolution.
The first resolution is CR number 20-174. CR number 20-174 is a resolution urging and authorizing the President to seek on behalf of the Federated States of Micronesia membership in the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, or the UNIDO.
Okay. Floor Leader Harbert.
Speaker, thank you. I move for adoption of said resolution.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution 20-174. Discussion. Any discussion? If none? Yes,
May I know what kind of animal is this thing here?
a very important animal.
What will it do to the people of Ifaluk?
Oh, plenty. You can be industrialized by the actions, works of this, our membership. It's just our membership. And there will be a lot of benefits to derive from our membership. And so I think it doesn't hurt.
It
to-
can help the people of Ifiluk replacing their,
Yes, exactly. Okay, any further discussion?
Speaker, I'm serious. I want to know.
Yes.
Membership fee, if there is, what kind of benefits is going to derive from this? All these kind of crazy questions that I always raise.
Well,
Mr. Speaker.
Chairman, yes, Floor Leader, you want to help?
Well, I don't think I can really help. In fact, I want to make an apology to my brother here, because when we had the meeting, the request was presented, but they didn't really detail what kind of benefits and if there would be fee and all that. But we just, seem to accept the request that we would introduce the resolution for action of this Congress. Thank you.
I understand you can continue dialoguing with the President, Vice President, Secretary R&T, but my understanding of this organization is that it is intended to help UN members or members of UN to work on improving their any kind of industry that they can. So it's economic in nature, and that's what we need. And some of the programs we cannot access because we are not yet a member of this.
Is this time sensitive? Cannot wait until?
That's my understanding. In talking with the Secretary of R&T, Mr. Henry, he indicated that there are certain deadlines that they have to submit whatever documents to. So that's why they just brought this in. Okay?
So even with all with these questions that we don't have answers for, like membership fees and all of this, it's okay?
I understand the fee, if any, is very minimal, just like those IRENA and those things, that are like $700 or something like that. It's not. But I think the benefit that we will derive, the potential benefit, I think it's huge out there if we become a member.
And if this is only requesting the president to...
Yes. That's the process. We
to
request
seek.
the president, and then the president, urging the president, and he will.
So when the president signed the instrument of accession to the, what is this, a treaty or some kind of thing?
It's an organization under the UN umbrella.
Okay, well that to continue the process, will it come back to Congress for acceding to it or ratifying it if it's
Yes,
a
I
treaty?
think so, because it will be a treaty, our part to join as a member. Just like UNESCO, the WHO, those kind of. Yeah. Okay? All right? Yes. Okay, any further discussion? If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of Resolution 20-174 say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution 20-174 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
Okay.
175.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next resolution is CR number 20-175. CR number 20-175 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant from the Government of the People's Republic of China in the amount of RMB 92,229,500 to fund the China-aided secondary road project in the state of Pohnpei, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Okay, there you have it. Just a technical correction on the word resolution. Just add A before that, so it reads A resolution. Any further discussion on that?
Speaker,
Resolution?
move for adoption of the said resolution.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 20-175. Discussion.
Speaker,
Yes, Chairman Ursmal.
I don't know what this 9,229,500, I don't know what that RMB is, but can somebody tell me how much is it in Yapi stone money or US currency?
It will be equivalent to one of those very huge stone money from Yap, about $10 million worth,
Is it about 10 million, Mr. Speaker?
9 point something or something like that.
The reason I raised that, and a question I have is, I can ask the question even if it was for but I'm wondering, when is it and what trigger things like this to come? there was a 10 million before, 10 million US dollars. And I understand it was given to half of it to Pohnpei and half of it to Yap. And I never saw anything about it in this Congress. I don't believe the Congress ever done anything with it. Nor have I seen what the 5 million is for Yap. I know they said ship, but I haven't seen a ship except for the Rusty H1 that came back from Tritok and still tied up at the dock. So the issue I have is it at the discretion of the executive what they should submit and what they don't submit?
No, I don't think so. I think all grants or foreign assistance are supposed to be, routed to the Congress for its approval. So I don't know which ones you're mentioning. Maybe there was this talk about splitting up those money, but they haven't been formally submitted to us. That much, I think is necessary, that they must submit these grants for our approval, like what they've done with these two.
But these grants before, Chuk also got 5 and Kosrae 5. They came, if this is a new grant, they came before this. And I wonder, is this, if it's about 10 million, is it inclusive of the 5 that was supposed to be for Yap, or?
No, I think that will come separately, the ones for the other states. I know there will be allocations to the other 3 states, and they just haven't got the paperwork to submit.
Are we in recess?
No, we're in session. No.
Short recess.
Okay, short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still discussing Resolution 20-175. Any further discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed, so let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of Resolution number 20-175 say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution 20-175 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution. Clerk.
We do not have any more resolutions, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, short recess, subject to call of the chair.
Go ahead.
Congress back in session. Vice Speaker Moses.
I yield to
Okay.
Chairman Banuelo.
Chairman Panuelo, motion to withdraw and place.
Yeah, Speaker, I make a motion to withdraw resolution number 20-176.
It's moved and seconded that resolution number 20-176 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Those in favor of that motion say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution 20-176 is withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action. For Leader Harper.
Move for adoption of the said resolution.
And second, it's moved and seconded that resolution number 20-176 be adopted by Congress. Chief Clerk, read the title.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The resolution is CR number 20-176 for adoption. CR number 20-176 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant from the government of the People's Republic of China in the amount of RMB 21,201,800 to fund the China-aided reconstruction project of the Kamar Bridge in the state of Pohnpei, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Okay, there you have it. Any discussion? Discussion, if none. Proceed. Chairman Ursumo.
Is there already motion to adopt, Mr. Speaker?
Yes,
Okay.
already.
I move for a short recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still discussing Resolution 20-176. There were concerns raised, and I will state on the record for the Committee on TNC to hold oversight hearings with respect to all these roads grants, and for it, Committee on HEXAF to also hold hearings in general on all these grants from our partners. Okay? Any further discussion on the resolution? If none, let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 20-176, say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution 20-176 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution.
There are no more resolutions, Mr. Speaker.
Short recess.
Motion to stand in recess.
Congress is back in session. Any other resolution, Chief Clerk?
There are no more resolutions, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Let's go down to the next item.
The next item is item 20, introduction of bills and resolutions.
Okay, if you have any measure to introduce, pass them on to Chief Clerk. Next item.
Next item is item 21, miscellaneous communications. We do not have any.
Okay, miscellaneous business. Do you have any miscellaneous business? If none, there's no objection. We go down to announcement. Acting Chairman, Ned.
Thank you, Speaker. No announcement.
Chairman Berman.
No announcement from HSA.
Chairman Romulo.
So the announcement.
Chairman Banuelo. Acting Chairman, Vice Chairman Coleman.
No announcement, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Chairman Ursula. Vice Speaker Moses, you have any announcement? If none, okay. Floor leader, announcement and your motion.
Thank you, Speaker. No announcement. And I move that we stand in recess and come back at 10 a.m. tomorrow, if God permits.
It's moved and seconded. Any second? It's moved and seconded that Congress stand in adjournment until tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, nay. The motion carried. Congress now stands adjourned until tomorrow at 10 in the morning.
Speaker,